let's take a look at CSS backgrounds in this video. And what I mean by CSS background is we can affect the background of our web page, whether we want to use a color. If we have something like red, we can change it to yellow or any color that we want. And even if we want to use something like an image, we can also do that if we don't want to use a color. So I do have a folder that I've created called the CSS backgrounds, and you can just basically go ahead and create your own in any location you want. Mine is on the desktop. So what I want to do is to create my first file right here. So this is going to be index.html. And let's open that up. So I do have that right here. So let me do an exclamation here, and then I press tab. It's going to generate the HTML boilerplate for me. If you don't have a meet in your system, you can just pause the video to type them out. So let me just enter CSS, and I would like to use that I want to use this as my H1 right here. That's the first heading. So I'm going to copy and then put that right here. If we save the changes, we can just try to open. This is the folder that I just talked to you about. So the file we just created just came in. So I want to open that up in my browser right here. So there is an error right here. We'll have one open tag of this stuff right here. So that should be coming from here. So let's get rid of that. So this is basically what we'll have at this time. And we can affect the change, the background color of this particular place if we want to. So if I want to do that right here, I want to go ahead and then start that up here. So we do have 3 ways we can add CSS to our web page. We do have inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. So I would like to use external CSS because that's just basically the standard. If you are going to start building bigger applications, you are going to just be relying on external CSS a lot of the time. So or a combination of both anyway. So I'm going to just do a link, hit tab, and it's going to generate this line for me. Again, if you don't have a meet, you can just pause and type that out. So let's say we're going to have a folder that is just basically going to be called the CSS, and then inside of it we're going to have a file called the style.css. So every CSS file must have an extension called the .css. So that's just basically what I'm trying to do right here. At first, let's create this folder, and then we can create this file inside of that particular folder. And there are 2 ways you can do this. You can either go to this location right here. You can hit on this new folder right here. You right click and then type the stuff right here. So this becomes the folder named CSS, and that's just basically what we already got right here, called the CSS right here, this one, and it will automatically show up right here. So let's say I want to create a file inside of it. If I click on it and then hit on this sign that we'll have here, sign of creating a new file, and I can just do style.css, which is basically this particular file right here. All right, so that is it. So that has been created, and let's say we want to work on the body section of this web application. We want to change the background color. So if we get to our CSS, the selector for the whole body of this section right here is simply called a body right here. All right, so let me say I want to work on that. So I'm going to just copy and paste that, and I'm going to throw in my curly bracket, and you can just do background color. So this normally you can just say something like background dash color, and you can go ahead. Let's say I'm going to change that to something like yellow as the background. So if we terminate this line, and then let's open up our browser right here and then refresh, you see that the background was able to change. If you don't like this color, you can change it to any color that you basically want. If you save the changes and then refresh, you see that just basically changes. All right, and the text color, if it's not visible, you can just basically do the changing of the background the color of the text right there if it is not visible enough. All right, so let me return this to yellow right there that we had earlier before now. Save the changes, and then we'll refresh. We do have yellow background right here. And notice that I do have background dash color right here, which is just basically a property, and this is the value right here. But there is a shortcut you can use, so you can take away this dash color right here, and if you save the changes, it just will still basically work. It doesn't actually display or complain of any errors. It just works fine. All right, so this is the shortcut. So instead of typing the long background dash color, you can just basically go ahead and then pass in the value right there. Now, before we proceed to some other areas, I like to also let you know that you don't have to only specify the colors, the common color names like this. Let's say, for instance, you want to use a white background. You can use the hexadecimal. All right, so that means that we can use common color name, we can use hex, and then we can even use RGBA. All right, so for instance, if I want to use, let's say I'm going to use a gray background, I'm going to just do F4 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 like that, and this is going to give a gray background. If I save the changes and I'm refreshing here, you see that this basically gives me this kind of background right here. All right, so that's just basically what that is. So it's a proof that those kind of a stuff, they basically work. All right, so we'll have that right there. All right, so now that you have seen the hex, let's also experiment with that of the let's say RGB. All right, so I'm going to just do RGB right here. This is going to be GB, and we can throw in these brackets in here, and the first value we're going to just say 25. Sorry about that. This is going to be 255 comma, I will do 255 again, and then the third value is going to be 0. If we save the changes right here, you're going to see that the background is just basically still going to be the same. All right, and if you're wondering why that, people change this one to 255, save the changes, and then refresh, see that it's really working. All right, but for you to get a yellow, just add 0 right here. Then when you refresh, it goes back to yellow right there. All right, and let's say for instance you want to let's say you want to add an opacity. So if you want to add an opacity, you can add a value right here. So this is going to be RGB a value, and you're going to just basically introduce a command here. Let's say you want to fade this by 30%. To do that, you're going to just do 0.3, that's 30%. Let's save the changes, and then if we refresh, you're going to see this will become a little bit more fainty. Look at how it is looking right there. So it becomes a little bit more fainty. So I'm going to just basically stop with the colors right here, and then move on to showing you how the image part of it basically works. All right, so let's comment out this. It's just going to get commented out like this, drop it down here, and then we can work with maybe the images section. All right, and that reminds me, guys, so if you don't want to only be working with the background right here, you can also change the background of a text. Of course, we have this text in this page. So let me take this away and just do H1 and save the changes. You see that the background is going to apply to only this right here. That's a proof that you can also work on the, what is it called? The background of an image. So let's take this away. Not the background of an image, but the background of a text. So I'm sorry mentioning that. So let's now work with image, and if you want to work on an image, the way that is just basically done is almost still the same way that it's just done with that of the background color right here. So to work with images, let's say we want to use an image as the background right here. What I want to do, let me just create a new folder right here. I'm going to just basically go ahead and call this sorry about this, click on this, and then we can just create a new folder right here. You can alternatively go to the folder down here to create this folder. You don't have to do it within what is it called, within a VS Code right here. So I'm going to just do images as a folder name, and within this place I'm going to just have to have an image which I've already brought in right here called a BG. So if you want to see the image, sorry about that, let me just show you the image from here. If you double click in here, you're going to see that we do have this image right here that I want to use as a background. So let me put it inside of the new folder I just created. So we have it right here, and we want to see how we can reference to that image within our, what is it called, within our working environment right here. So to do that is going to be very simple. If we go back in here and we want to basically use an image, of course we can do background dash image like this and it will work, but we can go ahead and then use the shorthand like this. Then what we want to do right here is going to be very simple. To bring in an image, you need to use a method called a URL like this, and then throw in your brackets. Then within here, you need to reference to the image that you want to bring in. In our own case, the image was really called a bg.jpg. Right, so but first we need to get into the images folder first of all. So I'm going to just do, this is going to be images, and then I'm going to do / and I'm going to just do bg dot jpg like that. All right, so I first reference to the images folder, and then I mention the bg, then this is the image file basically. All right, so if we save the changes right here and we'll refresh our browser, and we're not really seeing that. So what could be the issue? What could be the reason why it's not really coming in? But we do have this CSS that we have in here. They're basically not in the same directory right here. So we need to like look for a way to move this image one step backward so that it can appear in the same directory as that of the index.html right here, because this is just basically the page we want it to like show. All right, so if you want to do that, it means that we want this to move one step backward. So if we do, we want to just do a dot here, I mean a double dot right here, and do a /, then save the changes. We want to see that if I refresh in here, you see that the image basically shows right here. All right, so let me kind of maximize this so that you can see everything, and basically you see that all the parts of the images are just basically not showing. All right, so that brings us to the point where we will need to like add some properties to the CSS. I mean the image properties right here, just to make sure that we're kind of see all of the images come together and make it a little bit more responsive, so that you can just basically see everything that you have as that image. Because the original image, if you take a look in here, open this up, and then we'll double click on this is just how the original image looks like, but it seems like it's only the top right here that is just basically showing. So how do we do that? If we go back to our CSS in here, so if you want to deal with this, there are a couple of ways you can just basically do that. Maybe to work on the cover, and let's add a property for that. If I do background, and this is going to be dash, let me do dash cover like that. Not really dash cover, but background size. Let's do background size right here, and then we can actually set this to something like cover. So if I do cover right here and then refresh, it's going to help to and basically bring the image into focus, right? But if you take a look at this, it's just basically repeating the images. Look at it, the image up here is quite different from the image. It's just basically the same thing from the image down here. So it's just basically repeating the image because it couldn't actually fill all the whole space, all right? Depending on the screen that you're using to view it. So if we make this like this, you see that it doesn't actually extend down here. That if you want to solve that particular issue, we can just basically do that by using something like background. So I think it's just basically called a background repeat. So I'm going to just do dash repeat, and there are a couple of ways you can repeat this. I think this one is just basically repeating vertically. If you want to maybe make it repeat horizontally or vertically, you can do that, and you can also set it to no repeat. So in my own case, let me just set this to no repeat right there. So I don't want it to just basically repeat itself. I want it to just be just basically one image or two. So if you do this, it's just going to appear this way. All right. So if it looks good to you, you can just continue using that. But if it is not, you can just look for ways to like basically set them on some other kind of repeats. All right. So we did have something like repeat. I think it's called a repeat X, which is just basically what we had earlier, I believe. All right. I'm not really seeing anything yet. So let's do repeat Y. And if save the changes and refresh, you see that. But then repeat X, we just try to kind of repeat it horizontally. All right. So Y is horizontal. So that's just basically what that is, guys. So if you do repeat X, it just tries to repeat that horizontally. That is just that on that. And all right, so if you're really not, maybe you are not satisfied with what you got right here, there can be some situation where you may want to also position the image in that web page. All right, so you may get down here. Let me just first of all see how this looks. This may look okay if you like that, but maybe you want to position the element. You can just do background and just do dash position. So if this is going to be position right here, and that you can do something like center. We do have center position. So if I save this and then try to take a look at that from my browser right here, you see the way that that's a kind of a positions right here. So if it's something that you are really good, I mean, you're happy with, you can go with that. If you don't like that, you can still change that. So we do have something like top. So you can also do something like top left. Now let's do top right first of all. Let's say we want to push it to the top right. So if we're refreshing here, you see how that just basically looks. So if you're satisfied with that, you can just go with it. And if not, you can still do something like a top left. If I do left right here. So these are the positions you can just basically use if you want to make use of this. All right. So this is another one right here. So that's just basically how you can just work on the what is it called, the background. All right. So I've seen a lot of people, mostly they just use center right here just to center the image, and that's just basically what they need most of the time. All right. So this is how it's just basically looking so far on this page. All right. So we can also combine all of these that we have in here. We can combine them into a shorthand, so we don't have to write all these lines of code. So how do we do that? All right, so to do that, I'm going to just take the values of this, and I'm going to put one right here. It's going to be cover, and that's just basically going to be for the background size. Then for this one, which is the background repeat right here, you can also take it and just put it on the same line. Let's paste that right there. And the last one is actually going to be the background position right here. So let's put that, create a space, and then put that right here. So we can get rid of all of this right here. So we now have everything on the same line. So if we save the changes and refresh, you see that okay, we do not actually have and the error is just basically coming because of the order that we are just kind of representing this right here. So we need to have this just after the center right here, and we need to separate that with a forward slash like this. So this is going to be a cover. This is just basically how that should just basically be. If we save the changes and then we refresh, you see that the image kind of comes in just fine. All right, so that's just basically how that is. Now, I do know that there is a ton of stuff you can really do with your adding an image to your web page like this. First of all, I don't even like, I want this text to just basically be white right here. So I'm just going to do color right here. And I'm going to just basically set that to FFF like that. Save the changes, and I want that text just be white right there. So what I want to do next is, as you can see, even if we maximize this, you see that the image does not really stretch to the bottom right here. And that's just because by default, the image or a color of a web page can only go as far as the content it kind of occupies. So, but if you want to, maybe you want to force this to like take the full width right here, I mean at the full height, you can also do that. And how do you do that? I'm going to just enter a couple of lines up here. So I'm going to just reset the web page, set the margins to 0, the padding to 0, but I'm going to set the height to like take 100% of the web page like this, the way that it is right now. All right, so if I save the changes here and then I refresh in here, you see that it takes the whole width right there. All right, so that is just that. So some people even they kind of set this in something like VH, all right, which is the viewport height. So if we refresh, you see that we still get the same effect right here. As a matter of fact, I think this is just the most modern right now, right? And it's really responsive enough. So if you get in here, you see that it's a kind of extend just like that. So this is just like an example of what you can do with CSS background, and that is a ton, all right? So in the future, we can even learn how to have a sticky background like this on our web page, all right? So that's just basically what it is, and that's just basically what they normally use to create something like parallax effect. If you're working with that of the CSS or you're creating a theme, you can do something on that nature. So we do have this successfully placed on one line instead of those long lines that we had before now. And I'm going to stop right here, but there are more that you can actually go ahead and then learn in CSS, guys. So just go in there and then learn more about images. All right. So that's just it. So I'm going to just basically stop the video right here, and then I will see you guys in the next one.